Hello troops, welcome back to the channel. It's Dan from Hades Airsoft. In this video, we are reviewing the KS-1 from VFC, a fully licensed GBBR platform. We'll be putting it through its paces through a series of range tests and then a range challenge between myself, Carlos and Toro. If you like what we're doing on the channel troops, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's crack on with the video. The KS-1. What is the story behind this replica, obviously, of a real-world firearm? It's made by a company called Knights Armament Company, all right, and they have got a contract with the British Ministry of Defence to supply the British Army's Ranger Regiment. And also the Royal Marines Commandos. I don't come from the Ranger Regiment. I come from a regiment called the Rifles, all right, 4th Battalion, the Rifles. And they sadly no longer exist anymore. They have been converted into 4th Battalion, the Rangers. Although it's a shame because my kind of parent battalion doesn't exist anymore, it's also a source of great pride because, hey, this new Ranger Regiment is quite a big deal. So let's get on with it, troops. The buttstock. Now, the buttstock is a B5. It's a little bit loose on there, okay? Now, that does happen with stocks. You sometimes have to put like a little bit of tape up here, like a little bit of electrical tape just to firm this up, which is probably something I'd be doing if I was going to keep this stock. I'm going to be putting a Magpul stock on here, okay? Because what I want with this project, and it is very much a project, I want to turn this into as close to what the Ranger Regiment are using as possible. So one thing I do not like is the pistol grip. I believe it's, for my taste and my big Shrek hand, it's just a little bit too small. And it feels like I'm only just on there. And then when I need to kind of maneuver around with the riff in one hand, because it's quite a long barrel, and a little bit heavy, I don't feel like I've got as much control over it. That's another thing that's going to be getting changed. I'm going to put a Magpul grip on there. I've got one of those already. The enlarged trigger guard, big fan of that because that's something that on my Tokyo Marui I had to add. The way they've designed this upper and the lower, it's just exquisite. Now, there's no movement between the upper and the lower. Unlike a Tokyo Marui MWS, which really moves, you know, there's a real gap between the upper and the lower. This is so perfectly milled that it just slots into place. Ambidextrous safety. So we've got the ambidextrous magazine release controls as well. So the sights, the iron sights. Another thing I'm not a big fan of, okay? First of all, I don't understand why this one is in a kind of factory standard grey, where the base of it is in black and the front sight is in black. It does not come with any kind of M-lock Picatinny attachments there at all. Okay, we'll take a look at what we get in the box in a sec. Flash eliminator, okay, we've got that kind of triple prong there with the little indents, the little circular indents, and that is so that that suppressor can attach on there and lock into place, which we will also have a look at later on in the video. And then the color. We need to talk about the color. Flat dark earth color. Everybody that has seen this has commented on the color to me, that the color is absolutely fantastic. Magazine. It is a PMag design, okay, so it's based off the polymer magazines from Magpul. Those are the guys that did them originally. But it's not polymer, it's metal. This is obviously a Stanag, so the metal magazine. And it's very, very close. The Stanag is still slightly bigger, but a Marui magazine is actually, you know, quite a bit smaller than a real world magazine. So another really important point about these magazines, troops, is they are 30 round magazines. However, I'm a little bit concerned because I can only fit 20 in them. And I've loaded up every one of the 6 magazines and then emptied them out. And I get like 20, 19, 21, 22. I don't think it's a design flaw because they're all performing more or less the same. I think it's probably the fact that they're very new and the spring's probably a little bit tense and we need to just keep using them to bring down the tension of that spring. I hope so, because at £60 a pop and 5 extra magazines, I mean, you do the maths, it's a little bit of a considerable investment. Down there. In the box, we get a couple of little stickers from Action Airsoft, okay, which is good. You do also get one Allen key. There's 2 in here because the Allen key you get in here is to adjust the hop up. You don't get an Allen key to adjust the end pass. It does come, troops, with a built-in end pass. Another strong feature of the rifle, okay? However, you don't, for some reason, get the appropriate Allen key to adjust the end pass. So in my little plastic bag here, I've got both of them. But what I thought was really good is you get a speed loader, a kind of typical, classic speed loader like this, and you also get an adapter for it. Right, troops, talking about adapters, we've got these adapters for loading up the mags with these speed loaders. So that's going to be branded with the Hades Airsoft logo on both sides. We do also have the Tokyo Marui version, all right? So that's also going to be available. Well, that's already available. And then we've also got, this is the brand new little product, a locking device to go around that speed loader, because I'm constantly having that happen, okay? And if you want to replace it back down, you lose 3 or 4 BBs. So we've got these coming out and they are going to be available soon, okay? And that is, like I say, to keep the speed loader nice and tight in your kit, so that if you need to reload, you just pull it down, press the button, and reload. So a couple of little bits of merch coming out, troops. We've also got obviously like the patches, a few different sorts of Hades Airsoft patches, bunch of stickers. We've got hats coming out as well soon, and the t-shirts will be making a comeback. Send me a DM on Instagram, okay, and we'll sort you out with some merch via that platform in the meantime. This doesn't come in the box, okay, but this is a little device to adjust the hop up. So let's look at the internals of the Rift. So the cocking handle, again, really nicely well made. I really like these VFC bolts. And I can't put my finger on why. I just like them. I just think they're pretty cool. They just feel, again, a little bit more realistic, okay? And by placing one of those little Allen keys in there, you're going to adjust the end pass. So that is exactly the same as an end pass in a Marui. So when it comes to the lower, if you have watched the VFC Tokyo Marui comparison video, again, that'll come on screen, you'll remember I'm a big fan of that simplified trigger box, okay? With that, just that big hammer. And it just, again, I've said it before, it just feels so much more realistic. It feels much more robust. So troops, coming up now is that range test and also that range challenge between myself, Carlos, and Toro. Let's get amongst it. All right, troops, we are now out on the range. This is a new site for you. This is called Milagrosa, okay? But as you can see, it's a pretty overcast and rainy day. It's quite chilly as well for Gran Canaria. So hopefully the weather is going to stay on our side. And also, we've got to remember, with gas, the climate is really going to make a difference on some of the more nuanced aspects of the performance. So whatever we do today, let's bear in mind that it's quite a damp, chilly day in Gran Canaria. We're going to do our kind of classic range test. So we've got 10, is it 10, Carlos, or 20? 10. So 10, 20 and 30 meters. A couple of things obviously that I'm a little bit concerned about is that grip. As I mentioned in the unboxing, for my hand it really does feel a little bit too small, but that's maybe a me problem and not a you problem. And another couple of things that I definitely want to get tested out. So let's get amongst it and get some rounds down. Right, Drew, so we had a problem on that shoot, the first one. I didn't hit any targets. I got like 2 hits. And it's because the rounds were impacting on the end of the dummy suppressor and just going off at crazy angles. Perhaps it's been over-tightened or under-tightened, some combination thereof, and that is now causing us a load of dramas, which is a real shame. So spin that off and get back on the range. Yeah, there's definitely some kick there. There's definitely, I've got a little bit of a ringing in my ears from the sound of it, which I think is crazy. And I'm deaf as a post. So Toro's drone, it's all kicking off today. Toro's drone's like up there somewhere. Right, let's film this bit and then we'll help Toro get his drone back. So Yeah, nice kick. I did see a little bit of variation. 1 BB, I think, on the last target dropped a little bit. I wasn't expecting. But again, it's a damp evening, really. It's nearly 5 o'clock here and we're losing the light. So damp conditions, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, certainly after the struggles that we had with the dummy suppressor, I thought it might have been a problem with the riff, but obviously it was a suppressor. So it's good to see those rounds going down range. It feels pretty precise from what I could see. But let's go down and have a look and see what the scores on the doors are. Come on, Carlos. Whoa. Right, I'm happy with that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 on that one. All right, so I've obviously dropped 1 on that first target. Not the end of the world, but a nice, really nice grouping. So 1 I don't mind dropping. Okay, a little bit more dispersed. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this one we've got not too terrible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So weirdly, the most impacts is on the 30 meter. Okay, so maybe I was just getting into my stride on that one. I do think there's some variation in the fall of shot. I do think, again, it's probably the kind of climatic conditions. You know, the recoil's so different. And it's not just the kick, it's how the riff settles after that kick, if that makes sense. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, it's not the best day for it, we've said that. I'm okay with it, and it is fun. It's definitely fun. You know, the kick is great, the sound is great. I don't like that springy noise. I definitely want to do something about that, but overall the experience is great. So we're going to set up the targets, both paper and metal, and then myself, Carlos and Toro, we're going to move through it in like a FIWAF, so that's fighting in woods and forests, a FIWAF kind of clearance lane, shall we say. So it's going to be like an advance to contact, one by one, we'll move through it, trying to identify where all those different targets are, okay, and yeah, get into grips with the KS-1. Otto. Otto. Via. Otto. All right, Carlos didn't quite get all of the hits. I think he had just those two left. All right, so not too terrible. My fault as well, probably, because on some of these paper targets, I wasn't calling the elimination quick enough. All right, but still a good shoot. I think he got off quite a few on the move. And obviously with the failing light, he's put in a good show. All right, troops, we're back in the studio because we absolutely lost the light. Okay, so I'm going to give you my conclusion on the KS-1 from VFC, from the safety of the garage. What's my final verdict on it? I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't even mind that it's a project that we're going to work towards getting fine-tuned over the next few months. If anything, I'm actually quite excited by that. So we've put it back to factory standard now for this conclusion because obviously this is how it comes out of the box. But I'm really excited to get the sight on it. I'm excited to get the hand grip changed, definitively change the stock, the iron sights, get rid of those. Hopefully Toro can fix that dummy suppressor. He's actually fiddling about with it at his house as we speak in this very moment. Let's be honest, troops, if he can't fix it, I'm gonna have to buy another one. There's no way around it. This riff needs that suppressor on the end to complete the look. But troops, the VFC KS-1 is a work of art, if I'm being honest. Troops, it's also that kind of connection with the Ranger Regiment for me, because obviously, although I was never a Ranger, that all this amalgamation business happened a few years after I left. But because my parent battalion is now a Ranger battalion, I still feel that kind of kindred spirit, especially because I've got really, really good friends I deployed to Afghanistan with that are still within that battalion, and they've moved over from rifles to Rangers, as well as good friends, really good friends that have made the jump from other units in the British Army across to the Rangers. I am very, very happy with it. I have been critical with it throughout the video. There are things I don't like: the hand grip, the stock, the iron sight, the rear iron sight, and obviously the magazines, the 20 odd rounds in the magazine, I'm not a fan of. Leaving that to one side, I'm happy. Troops, that is it for this video. Do not forget to subscribe, please. Notifications, comments as well. Get in those comments. Tell me, do you like the KS-1? Are you gonna get one? Do you like VFC? Do you not like VFC? Just get in those comments and get a conversation flowing. That is it, troops. Thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll see you next time on the channel.